Welcome. Everything is saved? You're listening to Forkin Bullshirt, the Good Place podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Vivienne.
We'll be the architects of your journey into the afterlife.
This week we're talking about Season 3, Episode 6, The Ballad of Donkey Doug. This episode was written by Matt Murray and directed by Rebecca Asher, and it aired October 25th, 2018. Let's dive right in.
The Soul Squad splits up. Chidi, Eleanor, and Janet stay in Australia, while Michael, Jason, and Tahani travel to Jacksonville. Chidi agonizes over how to end his relationship with Simone, as he doesn't want to risk telling her about the afterlife. Janet offers to create a simulation device to help Chidi practice breaking it off with Simone.
I'm really enjoying the beginning here with all this fun banter between Janet and Chidi and Eleanor. It really reminds me of Season 1, when Eleanor would just ask Janet all these endless questions. And Janet's duty was just to help them in any way that she could. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It feels like the good old days in a way.
Mm-hmm. The good old place. My absolute favorite moment of the entire episode is in the first scene with Eleanor and Janet. Eleanor saying, "All my exes got over me," and Janet saying, "No, actually they didn't." And Eleanor saying, "You're damn right they didn't." The look on her face and the look on Janet's face. Janet's like, "Ooh, you're sassy bench."
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Eleanor and Janet are talking about people that Eleanor had a crush on back in the day. So I appreciate they include a girl in there too.
Yeah, there's a guy and a girl.
Yep. I think it's kind of funny in a way that Eleanor doesn't even consider going to save her two best friends, the ones that she hung out with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She knows they're beyond saving. It's just not going to happen.
Maybe those people are the most important people to save. The ones that are hopeless.
That seem hopeless.
That seem hopeless.
Okay.
Kind of like Donkey Doug.
I mean...
Eleanor's friends, much
I
worse.
guess if I was part of the Soul Squad, I wouldn't exactly be looking for the people who are, like, the worst.
I know, you'd probably want to make it easy.
Well, start off a little easier. I mean, come on.
Now, this might be just a way for Chidi to get out of his commitments for the episode. Mm-hmm. But holy moly, he took his firing extremely well.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's been a professor for a few years at least. I mean, he's pretty young, so it couldn't have been too long. But still, it's like, that's a respectable position.
Yep. And I feel like it'd be a lot harder to get fired than that. Like, yeah, you had a breakdown in class, I get it, but I feel like it would just be a lot harder to get fired than that, no?
Mm-hmm. I would think
Maybe
so.
some friends in academia can weigh in here.
It just doesn't seem like he's stressing over it very much.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he's internalizing, compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
maybe,
nice. It gives him the opportunity to actually go travel the world with the Soul Squad.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to try and take a sabbatical, but he's always worried about... No, it's just... He's done.
And then people watching it would be like, whatever happened to Chidi's job? Is he still on sabbatical? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. You mean us?
Maybe the crisis last episode, kind of helps. Like, he's not really too concerned with such frivolous things as a job or money.
Frivolous things, like a job, like an income.
Exactly. So maybe he's just more concerned about life now instead of... Maybe he just figures that Janet and Michael will look after him. And he's got the Soul Squad to back him up.
Sure. I mean, it makes almost no sense that Chidi's not panicking entirely about how he's going to feed himself, all of these things. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's not a huge deal. I get that he's way more focused on Simone right now because that is a problem he can solve more quickly. Mm-hmm. And I like that Eleanor is understanding of Chidi's moral code. I appreciate that. She understands even now, when he knows that he's doomed, he still is not okay with lying. This has always been Chidi's thing every single season, so I'm glad that they kept that up.
Mm-hmm. You called it last episode, how Chidi would have to break it up with Simone.
Yeah, there's just really no way that this could go well.
And I'm glad they don't treat him or her like Larry Hemsworth, just kind of like forget about him.
Yeah, no ghosting here. No, thank you, Eleanor. I get a little frustrated with Chidi in this episode, but in this scene I was really annoyed because he's saying, well, I just wish I could end things in a way that I knew wouldn't hurt her, but that's impossible because the simple fact that you're ending things is going to hurt someone. There's no perfect way to break up with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not possible.
Unless you both realize you want to break up with each other and you're happier about it.
Yeah, that's a mutual breakup, which is like a super rare thing, too. But if it's a one-sided thing, you're always going to hurt somebody. You just need to accept that fact. It sucks. Make it happen. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
So Janet.
Yeah, we get Janet binging herself.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh, she's so adorable. She's still trying to adjust to having no powers on Earth. It's fun to see Chidi and Eleanor's confusion, too.
They have no idea. They've never seen Janet with powers.
No, they don't know what she's like. They don't know what the Bings are like.
Mm-hmm.
That must be interesting to have to play that. Like, what are you doing right now?
I want to believe that's how they did it while filming the earlier seasons. Either somebody off screen just shouts bing and then the scene starts, or so they know where to add the sound, or
Oh, that's great. And we see that her range of emotions continues to grow. She now feels embarrassment.
Yeah, super embarrassed.
Though not about Jason, the simulation about Jason.
No.
She's not embarrassed about that. It's just a bug in the system, I mean. It's not something she put
Yeah,
there.
it's like she's not just embarrassed, it's like she's ashamed as well when she's backing away. Like, don't look at me, guys. Like, this is awful.
Oh, she's just not used to it. Poor Janet. All right, let's catch up with the other half of the Soul Squad. Jason, Tahani, and Michael arrive at Randy Macho Man Savage Non-International Airport in Jacksonville with a plan to save his father's soul. Tahani is shocked to discover that Donkey Doug is actually Jason's father. Their plan is to convince Donkey Doug to continue his education and help him earn an honest living. Okay, so I was totally shocked. 100% shocked that Donkey Doug is Jason's dad.
Yep, it's a little weird.
It explains a lot. It makes me a little sad for Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was genuinely surprising. I mean, it's obvious that he's not the most attentive parent, and he obviously had no boundaries at all with his son.
Yeah, he treated him like a best friend instead of a kid.
Yeah,
like his
bro.
own son.
How do you do that with a 5-year-old? Hey, bro. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird that Jason's mother is never at all mentioned in this episode. I know that we got a little mention of her last season where Jason helped her rob a pet store, but I guess she's not at all part of Donkey Doug's life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, in season 1, episode 5, I looked back to all the episodes where Donkey Doug was mentioned.
Oh.
And he was first mentioned in Category 55 Doomsday Crisis. And Jason says, I knew this girl Sheila. She was a black market alligator dealer with a pierced jawbone. Sheila was going to get married to my boy, Donkey Doug, and make him move to Sarasota. Would have broken up my whole breakdancing crew, and Donkey Doug was our best poppin' locker. So I hid a bunch of stolen boogie boards in Sheila's garage and called the cops. I framed the innocent gator dealer to save 60-person dance crew.
Okay, so Donkey Doug was dating someone with a pierced jawbone.
Yeah, named Sheila.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Their plan, okay. Their plan is to have him finally become an electrician, earn a honest living, and get him on track to accumulating good place points. But I feel like it's too late for Donkey Doug. I mean, it seems impossible that he could make his way into the good place given what we know about the good place.
How can you come back from all of this?
Exactly. Even Pillboy. Like, I know I'm skipping ahead, but they do manage to get Pillboy on the right track, but Pillboy's been kind of an idiot his whole life. He's been committing crimes and doing stupid things, but, like, now that he's just not doing crimes, he's supposed to earn his way into the good place. That seems unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like Michael should know this too.
yeah, So why would Michael give Jason hope for that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a weird one. Yeah,
It's a weird one.
Yeah, so then the whole point of the episode trying to save Donkey Doug and then end up saving Pillboy, I just feel like it's still pointless, I guess. Which maybe is how some people see life.
But he reconnected with his father. I mean, we are skipping ahead. But he reconnected with his father. Mm-hmm. He kind of bonded.
Yeah, I guess so. He got,
It's not that he reconnected. It's not like he was ever disconnected with his father. But they kind of bonded as father and son a little bit more than as friends or bros or boys.
My boy! Okay. So then when we do see Donkey Doug 2, and Jason has to remind him, like, no, I actually am your boy, I feel like there's a little hint of sadness there. Like, it's a little sad that Jason has to remind his dad that, really, you are my dad. Like, you get that, right? Like, you know, I'm not just your boy, I'm your son, your actual spawn. That sounds weird to say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I just wanted to briefly note the Randy Macho Man Savage Non-International Airport, in case anybody who doesn't really know who Randy Savage was. He was born in Ohio, died in Seminole, Florida. So maybe that's why. I mean, it's not exactly Jacksonville, but it's still Florida. Now,
and he's a wrestler, right?
Yeah, he was a color commentator as well as a wrestler. All through the 80s and early 90s, when it was known as the WWF.
Oh, yes.
The World Wrestling Federation. And then the Pandas had to take back the name. But interestingly, he died in Seminole, Florida. And just a couple days ago, when I was doing the research for this episode, I saw that Seminole actually had a huge storm. Massive storm, almost like a full-fledged tornado, which caused a whole bunch of damage. So all that came up when I was doing some research on Seminole. Like, holy crap. I like the monster truck gag that happens when Jason calls a cab.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but I don't like it. Like, I like it, but I don't.
Oh.
It doesn't feel right because they're back on Earth. Everything's supposed to be grounded in reality.
Right.
I guess they're just trying to show us that Jacksonville is as outrageous as Jason has always claimed it was.
Yep.
Maybe that. I don't know.
Okay, so does it kind of break the world?
It kind of breaks it a little bit. Okay. My belief. My suspension of disbelief.
I think it would have been fine if the monster truck had not crushed a car.
Or been a cab.
No, if it had been a cab, fine, whatever. Okay, but the crushing the car
Or
part...
the guy, like the cab driver leans out and sees that he crushed a cab and is like, oh, holy crap, not again! Something like that, I don't know.
Okay. I still thought it was hilarious. I love that
I know,
Jason
I laughed
just
a lot.
Throws his bags up. It's perfect.
It's like it's totally normal. He totally expects it.
Michael and Tahani's face just looking at this giant monstrosity. So funny. So perfect.
It's I love it. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, Ted Danson does this amazing look of surprise, shock,
excitement,
and joy, and excitement, and also disappointment. It's a lot of emotions in one look. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. The back of the tabloid magazine that Tahani's reading, when she sees that Hemsworth and her are broken up.
Oh yeah, she found out from a tabloid.
Yeah,
magazine.
No kidding. There's an advertisement for a book called Back Once More into the Den of Lions by Gay Perello, who is in charge of props for Parks and Rec.
Oh.
And this book is the sequel to the book being read by Ben in the episode Comeback Kid.
Oh.
Yeah, he's reading Into the Den of Lions. So we are back once more into the Den of Lions.
Okay, we're getting a Parks and Rec reference.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I did not pick up on that at all.
Okie dokie. Huh. Now, going back to the cab, for the cab that gets crushed, On top of it, on the cap topper, it says the Mindy St. Clair Rescue Alliance.
Oh my god.
Is that the name of
no
the
idea.
charity that they set up?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Michael and Jason are discussing how to help Donkey Doug, and Tahani says, well, we'll just give him money. Jason seems smarter than Tahani in this situation. Like he knows, he understands what needs to be done. Instead of just throwing money at it, you actually need to help him because he knows that he'll just blow the money. So it was kind of nice to see his growth there.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's through the whole episode even.
Yeah, I think it's his personal experience. He knows that when people around him and his life have come into money some way or another, they don't spend it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're using it to pay their bills and rent and whatever.
Yeah. And Tahani is just so used to throwing money at problems to make it go away.
Yeah, 100%, right? It's nice. I like it because it shows that they have very different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And they have different strengths because of that.
Chidi enters the simulation with Eleanor and Janet watching. Chidi practices breaking up with Simone over and over again. Meanwhile, the rest of the Soul Squad listens to a pitch from Donkey Doug and Pillboy.
Janet's invention is so cool. I want one, except I would spend way too much time in it because...
We'd get some Black Mirror stuff going on.
Yeah.
Just people would get lost in it.
I just love that they infuse fantasy elements into the everyday. I think it's cool. We're still getting a little bit of that, like, Good Place vibe even now here on Earth. I like that. I just love, too, the little sounds that Janet puts into the earbuds and how it's this real place. Like, we see the cafe later on in the episode. It's a real place that she's programmed in, which I think is really interesting. Mm-hmm. And being able to see whatever he's seeing, like... That invention doesn't make any sense at all, but I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I get Janet being super smart and everything and being able to build anything, but I don't like this part of the story.
Oh, no? How
come? I didn't really know why I didn't like it. And then I guess I kind of just... I think it feels like it's cheating, and it isn't giving Chidi a fair chance at being a good person on his own. It's taking... He's been teaching ethics and philosophy for so long. This would be a great chance for him to have a practical application.
Okay.
And Janet just snowplows it out of his way. People don't get this. You don't get multiple chances to break up with somebody.
No, but it's not really her. It's like doing a simulation in your head. It's like practicing beforehand when you're planning on breaking up with someone and you don't know how.
It's totally different than just going over, thinking about all the things that you could say over and over again. That's learning right there through yourself. But riffing off of a simulated person that you're going to break up with, that's not just going through ideas in your head. That's having the events play out. And you could say, oh, this doesn't work. So it's like time travel. If you're able to just reset over and over and over again, it just doesn't take it takes consequence out of the equation.
But we see that it doesn't, right? Because when he
actually
has to do it...
and that's what I was thinking about afterwards, that maybe that's the point. In the end, it shows us and Chidi that that's not enough. Like, simulations wouldn't do anything.
Okay, like no matter how much you prepare think that you're ready, when these moments happen, you have to be prepared. You have to be flexible, which we see Chidi isn't.
Exactly. We see he starts stressing over every detail that's not the same from the simulation, and things start to veer off course a little bit, and he completely freaks out because he's been in this simulator so many times. He's gone over it and over it and over it and perfected it. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, it doesn't matter.
I just thought it was an interesting way to explore Chidi's anxiety, because I get that. If I'm going to have a tough conversation with somebody, I replay potential ways of saying it in my head. Obviously, there's no simulation. I don't actually get to see how they react. But if I know the person well enough, then usually I can, approximate what their reaction is going to be if I say a certain thing. So it was kind of like getting to actually see that, getting to participate in it. So I thought it was an interesting addition to the episode. I liked it. Okay. I kind of get what you mean, though. You don't get to do that. You don't actually get to see what people's reactions are going to be and try out completely bonkers ideas, right? Like Chidi saying, "I'm really Special Agent Rick Justice," and giving Simone a puppy and trying to end it that way.
And then trying to propose.
Yeah, and then trying to propose and wondering, wait, why did that not work? Of course you can think of those things in your head, which I think is what the comparison is, right? Like anxiety and just overthinking everything. Mm-hmm. I understand that. I've definitely thought about, what if I said this crazy thing? Or what if I just did this thing that makes no sense, right? What would that be like? But with Chidi actually trying to think of how to do this, it seems a little silly that he would even bother, right? Like, this actually takes real effort. It's not just in your head. It's him really pretending he's got this puppy and pretending he's Special Agent Rick Justice and all these. Why? Don't spend the time, right? It's hilarious. I get it. I appreciate it. I think it's funny from a comedy standpoint. From a logical standpoint, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense, but
it's like
I'm willing to overlook it.
For the trolley problem in season 2, Chidi is fine with discussing the trolley problem and talking about all the different methods and how you do it. But then in the simulation of the trolley problem, he wants nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, get me the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously it's a little different. Breakup simulation versus killing 6 people simulation or 5 people. And, there's clearly a difference. But, yeah, I think it just doesn't feel like Chidi would go through with something like that. I feel like he's much more sit down and think it through logically, ethically, morally, philosophically, write down a bunch of notes.
Okay.
But I think part of it is also, hey, this could be an easy way. This could be an easy out. Something for me to not feel bad about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you. I get it. I see why it happened. I enjoy the little scenarios. I just don't like it in the episode.
Okay. I enjoy it. I think I'm mostly seeing it from a comedy perspective.
Right.
It's very funny. It's very entertaining. And because of that, I can overlook a lot of things.
Right.
We get Eleanor telling Chidi that he should just say that he's gay or that he's bi. And when he says that he's neither gay nor bisexual, she says, well, more guys should be bi. It's 2018. Get over yourselves. Which I agree with you.
Because we're totally over. We're full of ourselves. That's why we're not bi.
Yeah, well, no. Just it's a little silly because of course you can't control your sexuality, right? You're just attracted to who you're attracted to. But I like that Eleanor, who earlier said that she understood Chidi wasn't gonna lie, suggests that he tells Simone that he's gay or bi, because then that must be what she thinks of him. Like, she assumes either he's gay or he's bi, which he's shown no interest in men. But what I really like about it is that Chidi isn't insulted at all. There's zero gay panic. I really appreciate that. Chidi isn't at all freaked out that maybe he seems kind of gay. His response...
Vivienne's air quoting there.
Yeah. Well, it was such a huge thing, especially back in the 90s, where if any man on TV at all was...
Friends.
Yeah, Friends or even Buffy. When people would mention that Xander seemed kind of gay or something, it was like immediate panic. No, I'm not into dudes. I'm not gay, you know, because that would be the worst thing ever, right? It was tired. It was stupid. It was homophobic. I like that Chidi's not at all insulted. He's not panicked. His response is literally just confused. Like, wait a minute. What? Why would I say I'm gay? I'm not gay. Like, that's just a thing. And when she says, well, fine, bye, he goes, but I'm not bi. Like, Eleanor, I don't understand. You said that I shouldn't lie, so why would I lie? And that's it. That's all we get. I love it. And then we move on. And although Eleanor doesn't canonically say, I am Eleanor Shellstrop and I am bisexual, it's super obvious in this episode. She's talking about girls. She hits on Simone later. Like, she actually says bi in the episode. So it's there. I mean, I've seen a lot of people online saying that it's not the best representation, just because Eleanor doesn't say it herself, I guess, or because it just seems like she's horny for anybody, and that's not good bisexual representation. But that's Eleanor. That's the thing. It's Eleanor, right? Like, you have to remember who that person is. We wouldn't be doing this if it was Chidi that was bisexual. It would be a very different experience, but Eleanor's just a horn dog. We know that about her.
Oh, yeah.
Of course she's going to be a horn dog for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's Eleanor. That's just Eleanor.
Yeah. And we get it confirmed. They actually are in the year 2018. So they are current. A couple of little side notes. In this particular sequence, this, breakup sequence, we get a musical callback. The music used over that sequence is actually the exact same music they used from season 2, episode 3, where we saw all the different punny restaurants in the reboots. So that's kind of nice, where we're using the same stuff. And I don't feel like I feel like it's deliberate, because we also get Chidi snapping his fingers to reset the simulation over and over again, just like Michael did when he was resetting the reboots. So it's kind of a fun callback. Like, Chidi and Eleanor wouldn't get it, but Janet would. She was there throughout the whole thing. So that's kind of nice. And I do like Eleanor taking over for Simone and then pretending to be Janet. I felt like the actress did a really good job there of pretending to be Eleanor and pretending to be Eleanor playing Janet. That was fun. And last thing is, I think that the actress actually has a subdermal piercing near her wrist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought maybe it was like part of the simulation, like some sort of robotic something or other. But then I went back and looked at a couple other episodes, and she has these two like little diamond things near her wrist.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So that was kind of neat. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but yeah. Shall we continue? Eleanor offers to break up with Simone for Chidi, so she enters the simulation. She's pulled out just as she's about to kiss Simone. Jason tries to convince his dad to think long-term instead of moving ahead with his get-rich-quick scheme. He fails, so he decides to put his efforts into saving Pillboy instead.
So Eleanor falling for Simone, Eleanor mentions she loves her accent, and I feel like that's definitely directed towards people complaining about her accent.
Maybe, yeah, possibly. I also like that Eleanor has this really sour look on her face when she transitions into the simulation, because she doesn't like jazz. She hates jazz. She's like, ugh, every song is like an hour long. I get it. You can play the piano. I feel like Eleanor was giving Simone some kind of look the first time they met, too. So, I get it. There's a little
if
something
the possibility were to arise, I'm sure she'd go for it.
Absolutely. So I appreciate this from Michael Schur and the writing staff as well. They all wanted to avoid this trope of women fighting over a man, which I really appreciate it. I'm happy that they went in a very different direction with Eleanor and Simone. That's not to say that Michael Schur's track record is 100%. There was a little bit of that back in Parks and Rec with April and Anne. Not exactly fighting over Andy, but sort of disliking each other because of their past relationships or current relationships with a man. I'm not in love with women getting angry with each other over a guy, you know? It's not fun. It's boring. So what did you think of Donkey Doug's pitch?
I don't like this whole episode.
No?
It's hard for me to pick apart these parts that I just don't like. Like, I like there's some jokes in there that I like, but overall, I'm not a fan of the episode.
Oh. Okay.
And it's really hard for me to look at it objectively.
Okay. What is it that you didn't like about Donkey Doug and Pillboy and Double Trouble?
It's just a lot of dumb people acting dumb over and over again.
Right.
And that just got old.
Okay.
I like it with Jason within reason and for small amounts. Because you can only do that so much before it's just repetitive.
Right.
And you know how every scene's going to play out. Like, you could tell exactly how this scene was going to play out as, like, before it was playing out. Like, oh, we're going to pitch you an idea. Let me guess, it's going to be terrible, or it's going to be disgusting, or it's going to be just really bad. Oh, look, it is. It's really bad.
It's all three of those things.
It's all three of those things, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, we have raspberry perspirant as a flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Cedarwood melon blast. I mean, we've got two contrasting flavors here.
Yeah.
We've got woodsy and we've got fruity. Come on. And we've got fruity and we've got sweaty.
So you're really just insulted by how bad this idea is.
It's just horrible. I mean, do you spray it? Do you drink it? Like, yes, it's an inclusive or. So.
You both it.
You both it. Yeah. It's just. I was done with it by the time that pitch was over. Like, I was done with this whole storyline.
Okay.
Because you know exactly what's going to happen.
I guess I didn't.
No, you couldn't tell that it was not going to work and this was going to fail miserably?
Well, yeah, I could tell that Donkey Doug was too far gone, that they weren't going to be able to save him because he was just so stuck in his ways. I got that. I understood. I didn't see that Donkey Doug would give himself up for Jason. I didn't see that they would manipulate Pillboy into doing good things. I didn't really know exactly how it was going to go. So I did still feel like I got some nice little moments in there and some nice surprises.
But again, they use stupidity for both of those things. Donkey
Yes.
Doug gives himself up because his dad did that for him and his dad did that for him.
And someday you will do that for your son.
And with Pillboy, they even got him they convinced him through complete stupidity. They used his stupidity against him.
Right. Okay.
It's just, it was a lot of that, and it was done. I was just done with it.
Okay. Well, that's fair. I get it. I think I just enjoyed the jokes.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that I enjoyed were some of the jokes. Like, when Tahani and Jason and Michael show up at Donkey Doug's place, and he's holding the bong, and he says, oh, are you a cop? And he gives it to Jason, and Jason starts freaking out, like, oh, maybe Michael is a cop, and he hides it behind his back. Like, Jason has no idea what's going on all the time. So.
But their brains are obviously pretty fried, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. I liked it. I mean, for the most part, I liked it, even with them all being so dumb. And I know it's the same joke. They're really stupid, but the jokes seem to land for me pretty well this episode. What I was wondering is, okay, Jason and Tahani are really easily swayed by Donkey Doug and Pillboy's enthusiasm for Double Trouble, right? Like Donkey Doug's saying, well, don't you believe in me? Don't you want me to achieve a dream? That kind of thing. Do you feel like it's nicer to be honest to someone and tell them that their product is terrible and will not make money? Or do you think it's nicer to let them chase that dream and see if they can possibly make it work? Like,
I think you should
even
do
if
both.
you feel like you know it's going to fail. you can't know the future. So
Right. But I think you should do both. I think you should be honest with them, tell them about their idea. I'm so glad you're enthusiastic about this, but maybe it's not the best idea because of these reasons. And then if they're still super adamant about doing it, be like, you know what? Go for it.
yeah.
You really want to do this, so I will help you do this.
Yeah. And I see Jason being swayed really easily by that, of course, because he's not that smart. And he likes Double Trouble already. But also Donkey Doug is his dad, right?
He wants to get in on it before the other sharks scoop up the idea.
Yeah. Oh, great Shark Tanks.
Uh-huh.
But Tahani is kind of the one that's a little off for me, right?
She's
like,
here
why
for
would
Jason.
she do that?
She's only here for Jason.
Okay, whatever will make him feel better.
Just like Michael. Michael, they're only there to help Jason.
That's true.
But Jason, like, it's weird because he sees how his dad's decisions are bad.
Yes.
Like, he knows that breaking the law and robbing 3 factories would be a bad idea.
2 factories, okay, but 3?
Like, it would definitely earn them some bad place points or some negative good place points. I don't know how are they going to...
Bad place points,
Sure,
I guess.
bad place points. But he's still, like, I don't know, even though he knows it's going to be bad for him, he still does it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mean like he goes along with his dad? Well, he's already doomed. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, he's already gone to hell, so what does it matter?
Okay.
If he robs 3, 5, 10 factories, who cares?
All these little points add up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, though. You're all going to the same place. That's what
Okay.
he knows anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't think he would care about himself, which is why he's able to put himself in the line of fire instead of Pillboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just also want to point out that Donkey Doug's apartment is perfect. Like, I think it's really well designed. And honestly kind of reminds me of my brother's apartment back when he was in his early 20s. Just the signs that were clearly stolen off of all these different roads, and the bongs everywhere, just trash on your big coffee table in the
It's
living
like
room.
a frat boy apartment.
Yeah. His
Or
dad 100% never grew out of that phase.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's hilarious, I loved the set design. I thought it was great. They could have pushed it even farther, but I thought it was great.
Chidi breaks up with Simone in real life, and it goes terribly. He panics, but Eleanor convinces him to talk to Simone and to expect some heartache. Tahani stops Pillboy from robbing the factory, and Jason takes his place. The police arrive, and Donkey Doug sacrifices himself for Jason.
Yeah, so then this is where Chidi is very obviously inflexible. He practices something, and then he comes to this moment where he feels like, okay, this is the perfect breakup, and I need to remember, here's where the coffee cup was, and this is the way my leg was over my other leg, blah, blah, blah. He isn't able to adapt. Like, he sees that she's sitting at a different table, and all of a sudden now there's waiters, which, why weren't there waiters in the simulation? And he freaks out and says, well, you dumped, Chidi, you have been hanging out way too much with Eleanor. And all the practice in the world isn't going to help you at all if you can't adapt. So, yeah, not great, Chidi. Not a great moment.
Not a great moment, no.
But I love Eleanor's response to this. To be upfront with Chidi and say, she's a badass and her world is bigger than your relationship and she will recover. I like that. That was a really good moment.
That's a great line. Her
yeah.
world is bigger than your relationship.
Yeah. I swear I'm going to say that to people when they come to me with their breakup stories. Be like, your world is bigger than this relationship. It's okay. I love it. I love it so much. And I think it's really nice. Like, nobody ends up happy after a breakup. It's okay. It's all right. It'll pass for you and for her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
But I think it is sweet that Chidi is worried too, not just that she's going to be upset, but that he somehow put her on a bad path. And he doesn't want her to end up in the bad place because he knows that she's such a good person.
Right.
So he wants her to get what I'm sure he feels she deserves. So I like that too. It's nice. It's not just well, I didn't want to hurt her because then my feelings are going to be upset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The cafe name that they're at, French Pressing Nemo.
Oh my God.
They really don't like Nemo. Like, there's so many of these stores or shops that have Nemo in the name. Like, the restaurant in the first season was Eating Nemo.
Mm-hmm. And Drinking Nemo was the bar. It's just, it's a running joke with the
it's
staff.
great.
It's just like, they're so proud of the movie Finding Nemo that every restaurant is named after it.
Or they really hate it because they keep killing it in every iteration of these stores.
Oh.
Did you notice the street names?
No, I didn't.
Another Crocodile Dundee gag.
Oh, God.
That's not a street. And intersection with this is a street.
Oh, my God. That's so dumb.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the artwork in the cafe reminded me of this movie barcode Tumblr. It was an artist who would take a movie and condense all of the frames of the movie into one long strip of art, which kind of looked like a barcode because it was just frames of the movie, but it's just from the beginning of the movie to the end. So it was all the colors, and you could see the breakdown of scenes almost because they were all color coded.
Yeah, light, dark. Okay.
Yeah, it was really interesting. The artist stopped updating a few years ago, I think in 2016, but the Tumblr is still out there, moviebarcode.tumblr.com. It's really great. And a couple of pieces of artwork on the wall really reminded me of that.
That's cool. I wonder what The Good Place would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. So back in Jacksonville, we've got Pillboy working at the old age home.
Being a pillboy.
Yeah, and I like that his name tag actually says Pillboy. Very appropriate since he hands out medication. And I like that he's being weirdly sweet with these old people. Like, oh, I want you to get a nice, mellow, fun kind of high, and I don't want you to be tripping balls like Clarice over there. I thought it was kind of sweet. You can see that he's overall a nice person.
Seems to care about the old people.
Yeah. And then we get Jason coming into the factory, and I love his introduction, really, because Donkey Doug says, Pillboy? And he goes, no, it's me, Pillboy's friend Jason.
Because he's like...
yeah, no, he could see that the second you walk in, buddy. I don't know. Sometimes I just love him so much because he's so dumb. But he comes in, he's just so mad. Like, he's like, no, it's me, Pillboy's friend Jason. I just thought, man, he just entered it so well in that scene. And then with the whole amen moment where Donkey Doug just bows to him and Jason does the symbol of the cross. And I mean, some of these jokes are just so funny. They really are. And I think that's why I like this story still. And then, of course, we get to see where Jason got his Bortles thing. You know, got it from Donkey Doug. Donkey Dad.
Donkey Dad.
Yep.
No, it sounds weird.
Yeah. Call me Donkey Doug. Okay. Oh, God. They were like 2 seconds into robbing that place, too.
Yeah. And then the cops
show up. I feel like Jason, like, called the cops.
I thought it was going to be Michael showing up as, like, pretending to be the cops and then forcing them to have some kind of moment to, like... But, no, it's the actual cops.
No, and then Donkey Doug just escapes on foot and the cops are just stunned and decide...
We should probably chase him.
Well, let's go. But there's enough hesitation that it makes it funny. Like, Jacksonville cops are just bad. All right, so let's get to the end of our episode. Chidi speaks honestly with Simone and finally ends their relationship. Michael, Tahani, and Jason trick Pillboy into living an honest life. The Soul Squad reunites in Budapest, where Eleanor learns that her mother isn't dead.
What?
No way! Okay. So, Chidi gets a little bit choked up when he's talking to Simone, which is nice. And when he's saying, too, that she should continue this study because it might help a lot of people, I think he's hoping that something he's contributed to is going to help a lot of people get on the right path.
It's going to do some good.
Go to the good place. Maybe he feels like that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a little sad he can't do it since he's been fired.
And he did love Simone. Like, they were together for over a year.
Yeah, I guess I just don't feel a lot of sadness from him. Like, he's obviously conflicted, and he says multiple times he doesn't want to break up with her. He's only doing it so that he doesn't accidentally doom her.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like he's not as upset about the whole thing. And then even Simone herself is frustrated. Like, she's pissed off the way he does it when he says you dumped and all this. But there's no tears. There's no final kiss goodbye, hug goodbye or anything. It's just, well, maybe this is for the best because you're so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, they almost make a joke out of it.
That's fine, right? For us, the viewers, we aren't that attached to their relationship because it hasn't been seasons that it's been building up, right? It's just been this season, so it makes sense.
And we didn't see a lot of their growth.
No.
We saw them get together, but that's it.
Yeah, that's true. So another thing that I feel like we should learn is Jason and Pillboy's handshake. I love it. I thought it was great. I love the tears. It's so perfect for them, and I want to learn it. I really do. So I feel like that's gotta happen. I actually want other people, like listeners of this podcast, to go out and learn that handshake too, and then post videos online.
Send it to us.
I want it so bad.
When Simone leaves and says, "See you in the next life," it reminded me a lot of Lost when Desmond says, "See you in another life, brother."
Yes, I don't feel like that was a coincidence.
Yeah.
So do you feel like Pillboy has a chance of getting into the good place at all?
That's my...
Is that your main gripe with this episode?
It's not a gripe. It's not my main gripe. No, but I don't think that deceiving Pillboy is a good way to get him into the good place. I don't think it's a way to get him good points at all. Mm-hmm. Because, like Tahani, he's doing things for the wrong reason.
Right, his motivation is not correct.
Exactly.
Because he's doing things because he's following orders from
right,
NASA.
But he wouldn't even be doing good things.
He would just be
avoiding bad things.
Well, he would be doing good because he would be taking care of the old people.
Sure, he'd be continuing his job.
Mm-hmm.
But is that enough to get you good points? Doing what you're supposed to?
I mean, I feel like what job you take and how much it helps people and the ripple effect, I feel like, yes, that definitely contributes to your points, right?
Okay.
We did see in the first episode all the explanation. We saw those women's points. I think there was stuff about, just in general, like rescuing dogs and working for a nonprofit and that kind of thing. Like, that gives you points because you are doing something with your life that helps people directly. So I feel like Pillboy would definitely accumulate points. However, I don't know how many, and I don't know if it would actually make a difference because would it even out his previous actions, and would it give you enough points to actually make it over this, incredibly high threshold, right? So I kind of feel like, I mean, it's good, and it's not like there's no worth in doing good things on Earth, because maybe you'll actually end up in hell. Like, you should still do good things. We talked about that last episode, but it's interesting because it's this whole idea of we're here to save people. Like, we're here to save them and send them to heaven. Kind of doubt it with a lot of these people that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
Just like I kind of doubt Tahani would be able to save her sister, is who I'm imagining she's trying to save, or to save her parents. Like, next episode, I think that's who she's going to go for.
Do you think she feels like her sister is doomed?
Maybe because of her motivations, because her sister is obviously motivated by fame and attention, just like Tahani is.
Do you think she is, though?
Yes.
Like,
or a spite, like, or she's motivated out of being better than her sister.
What confuses me, well, maybe not confuses me, but looking back to everything that Camilla has done, she's done nothing. All these things just happen around her. Like when she was at the club and everyone said that she saved her sister, she didn't say anything. She didn't say, oh yeah, I saved my sister. So she literally did nothing. And when the lawyer was hitting on her in the office, she didn't say anything. She's not, it's like she's a bystander in all these people clamoring over her for no reason. It just happens around her. She doesn't encourage it. She doesn't start it.
No, but she doesn't stop it.
You're right. She absolutely doesn't stop it.
And we already know that she is very intelligent. She is very talented. We did have that one episode in season 1 where she was showing off a statue of a bird that she had made. And, you know, she was referencing all these different art movements. And her albums win Grammys and whatever else. And all these awards. So she's obviously very talented. But yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like, I feel like that's who Tahani is going to go see. I'm very interested to see what that's going to be like and how we're going to explore, you know, your motivation versus your actions and intent versus impact with these characters, with trying to save them.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Eleanor's mom, I feel like is just unsavable at this point. She's a horrible person. Maybe she's miraculously changed, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really funny. I didn't feel like it was the deepest episode of the show. Obviously, we're not going on and on about philosophy this episode.
No, I don't think that would work with an episode about Jason and Jason's dad.
Yeah, exactly. But I did genuinely enjoy it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. And I'm excited to see what we continue to do.
So, we're about halfway through the season now. And I'm not enjoying it as much as I was hoping that I would enjoy it. I'm liking the jokes. There's a few episodes that I've really enjoyed. Like last episode was fantastic. But I'm not really liking the season so far. And I think I know why.
Okay.
There's no threat. We've lost the threat aspect of the show. The first season, it was constantly Eleanor being discovered and then Chidi trying to teach her to be good. So there was always the threat of Michael discovering that she doesn't belong. Okay. And then after halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, there was the threat of her actually going to the bad place with Sean and the bad place demons there. So there was that aspect of it.
There was always the tension.
There was always the tension. And then season 2 started and we have the threat of Sean discovering Michael and them having to escape from the bad place and get into the good place. So there's always the threat of discovery and being found out, and that Michael was lying to everybody and all that.
Yeah, and they're still chasing a dream at that point.
Right.
They're still hoping that they can make their way into the good place. Right.
And there's no threat in season 3. I don't feel like there's any tension. There are no stakes.
Okay.
And it's bothering me.
Okay, because they already, at this point, know that they're going to the bad place, so they're just kind of resigned to that fate, like...
And if there was any tension at all, it was over in the first couple episodes. As soon as Trevor entered, there was tension there. There was, maybe Trevor's going to throw a wrench in the gears. Maybe Sean has something else up his sleeve. But that was all... It was like it was written out.
Right.
I'm sure some aspects of that will come back, but there hasn't been this overarching worry or, there was never the fear of something going wrong.
Right.
And
okay.
it's detracted from I don't know. It feels like it's missing.
Okay. No, I get it. If that's an important part of the show's DNA, to lose that in this season is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was the tension of Michael and Janet being found out, so that kept things going for me for a little while. But I get what you mean. Like, there's no tension in this episode. I don't worry that, I'm not worried that Pillboy's not actually going to get saved or any of this stuff. I'm not worried about Simone and Chidi's breakup. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a little bit of a fillery type of episode. Like, plot wise, we're moving things along, but it's not.
Are we though? What's the plot right now?
They're saving people's souls, and I
Snorefest.
imagine that something is going to come up.
You imagine,
Yeah.
you
so
hope.
I'm hoping that something's going to come up, that somehow the judge or Sean or some part of the good place, bad place is going to show up in the show, because I can't imagine that they would do an entire season of just these kinds of episodes,
Right,
where
exactly.
Tahani's trying to save somebody this week and Eleanor's trying to save somebody next week. Like, you just can't keep that up. It's not going to be interesting.
I imagine the judge is watching them through all this.
Yeah.
The judge or the points keeper, the accountants, or I just want to see a little bit more.
Okay, that's
because
really
I'm
fair.
getting kind of bored.
Okay.
I mean, I love the characters and I love watching them. The story is boring me right now.
Okay. It's very valid.
My feelings are valid.
They are, Jason. Your feelings are valid.
And then as the credits start rolling, we have one more bit of crazy credits, similar to last week. We have Jolivia Newton-John,
Oh my god.
which is, of course, Olivia Newton-John, who is a singer, songwriter, actress, activist, entrepreneur, 4-time Grammy winner, etc. She was born in England, but emigrated to Melbourne, Australia at age 6.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little factoid for you to stick in your pocket.
So that brings us to the end of Forkin Bullshirt, a Multiverse radio production. If you like the show, please leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. This is the best way for others to find the show. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter at Multiverse Radio and on Facebook at Multiverse Radio Podcast. And of course, you can always email us from our website, www.multiverseradio.ca. Bye!
Bye!